Chapter 5. The Indians Sell Manna-Hatin. The English were not at all pleased with the colony of New Amsterdam, so impudently planted within the limits of the King James Grant, for the Dutch showed no signs of leaving. Both England and Holland desired to avoid war, although neither wished to relinquish its claim, and thus for years the neighboring people of New England and New Netherland were kept in a feverish state of bluffing each other about who owned the land. The West India Company must have felt that a gesture of ownership on its part would improve matters. Therefore, when a new director, Peter Minuit, was sent over in 1626, he came with instructions to purchase Manna-Hatin from the Indians. Real estate operators since Minewit's time have often thought wistfully of that first bargain, the entire island of Manhattan for 60 guilders worth of trinkets, or $24. But it now appears that the Canarsie Indians, from whom Minuit made his purchase, were not so simple-minded as they seemed, for they took payment for something they did not really own. This tribe, along with the Montauks, the Rockaways, and others, dwelt on Long Island, merely trading on Manhattan, and their trickery made it necessary for the white man to buy part of the island over again from the tribes living near Washington Heights. Still more crafty were the Raritans of Staten Island, so named for the States General, for the records show that Staten Island was sold by these Indians no less than 6 times. The settlement over which Peter Minuit ruled was very small, and huddled near the fort, before which a wide plain opened out on the site of our present Bowling Green. It is true that Herengracht, now Broad Street, had little bridges spanning its canal, giving the town somewhat the appearance of old Amsterdam, but progress was lacking. No one was permitted to trade on his own account. Help was scarce, and the better classes did not come over from Holland because conditions at that time were more prosperous at home. Then, in 1628, the West India Company committed a grave error. It promised huge grants of land to wealthy Hollanders who would bring out 50 colonists at their own expense. These great landowners, called patroons, became almost little kings on their own estates, and were able to rule their colonists with an iron hand by reason of the life and death privileges permitted in their charters. From the patroon grant made at a later date to Adrian van der Donck, the present site and name of Yonkers can be traced in Jonkers Land, or the young lord's land. But with 1 or 2 exceptions, the patroon system did not turn out well, for the landowners grew haughty and quarreled with the governors of New Amsterdam, while the people they ruled became sullen under their restrictions. Peter Minuit was a wise and kindly governor, insisting that the Indians be treated with fairness. This humane policy did not prevent a sad tragedy that was to bring a heavy retribution. 3 servants of the West India Company happened one day to encounter an old Indian walking with his nephew in the woods by the freshwater pond, later called the Collect, where the Tombs prison now stands. The cowardly fellows set upon the old man, robbing him of the beaver skins he was carrying to the post, and beating him to death. The nephew escaped through the forest, and waited patiently during 12 long years for his chance to take vengeance. When it finally came, the massacre that resulted was costly payment for the life of one old Indian.